Hello and welcome back to another stream of Metal Gear Solid: The Phantom Pain. Hopefully I won't suck so much ass this time and or remember how to properly go about doing things. And I'll also try to be more quiet through the cutscenes. And I would like to get that. That was one of the sniper rifles I had on PlayStation 3 that I was not able to get to because of the ridiculously high costing that they didn't change, but only changed on PS4. It is also currently 5:30 in the morning, so I have a decent amount of time to stream this.
Boss, I know you haven't been back long, but I prepared a list of missions for you. Open your iDroid. I've taken the job offers Diamond Dogs has received and made a list of those I want you to consider. Which ones you accept is your call. The objectives of the missions I've added are prisoner rescue, facility sabotage, and high-value target elimination. Probably all a walk in the park for you, but they should help you get back on your feet. I put the mission details on a cassette tape. Refer to it if you decide to accept the mission. We'll receive GMP for completing missions, and extracting soldiers and prisoners will boost our ranks. Building up Mother Base is the first step to achieving our goal. If that means wet work, so be it. We're gonna have to get our hands dirty. I hope you're rested up, because we're not stopping. Not until the pain is gone. The future of Diamond Dogs is in your hands. We're counting on you, boss.
I'm struggling to remember how to put staff in their correct rank. There's just a way you could sort all of them before, and I completely forgot. You could directly put them into all of their suitable things. That way, if you had some people that were kind of a mixed bag between like R&D and support, you could straight up just move them without actually having to like move it yourself, and I forget how to do that. And it's not this. I was near positive it was R3. Maybe that's later on when I have multiple. I forget what they're called, like my security teams and so on and so forth. I might just be trying to do too much shit too early on. Go ahead and listen to some cassette tapes, because all these gold ones.
You were hospitalized.
Actually, I'm gonna do that probably later when I have a better amount of them. And I don't necessarily like running things I know I'm not going to use. Like, I don't ever use the grenades or the magazines. I never really use that. I never really use that. I barely ever use that. So a lot of times I just go in bone stock because it eats away at your GMP and resources over time, especially if you take a ton more in, like a bunch of C4 and mines and grenades and shit you don't necessarily need but just kind of want to have around you. However, I do go in at nighttime and I have increased brightness so that way you all can see better, whoever happens to watch or is currently watching, which there is nobody, because my stream has just started. But to those of you who may watch this later on YouTube, it will benefit you. And I know this game has been out for quite some time now, but if you've ever thought about picking it up and then just not, go ahead and pick it up. I highly recommend it, especially if you're a Metal Gear fan.
Make your way to Deshago Calais and eliminate the target.
One thing I'm gonna have to do real quick is I am gonna have to adjust the audio mix. I was just playing Siege and I had it way up, and now it's hard to even hear myself talk, and usually I slur more words and such because I don't know. I guess I'm just stupid sometimes whenever I speak. Actually, a lot of times, not even sometimes. Anyway, we should be better now. I don't know how it's gonna sound for you guys. It shouldn't sound any different. But I will go back if nobody tells me ahead of time and watch just to see if there is any difference, and if there is, I'll probably leave it about half and half for next go round.
Be careful down there, boss. We can use compounds from plants to make medicine or poison for use in new weapons and equipment.
Also, I may restart, not a ton, but I may restart more than usual over stupid things, such as like if I kill somebody and I knew I could have gone without killing them, I may restart. Especially if I get caught, because a lot of times you could pretty much walk through this whole game and not have to kill anybody. Aside from, you know, obviously the Metal Gear and such, and whoever happens to die in a cutscene, because that's uncontrollable. And that's the better way to do it, because, a bit of a spoiler here, if you kill too many people, you turn into Demon Snake, and although it doesn't have any negative effects, it's visually displeasing. He's discolored in blood, you can't wash it off. His little horn, a lot of people call it, the little bone fragment sticking out of his skull, gets immensely long, and it takes so long to get rid of. I did this on PS3 and wound up pretty much reverting to a different save file so I could get rid of it.
Have already been processed. It may not be much, but we can use them straight away if you bring them back to base.
And I'm probably gonna talk through a lot of what Kaz and Ocelot are saying during missions, not necessarily during, you know, cutscenes, but a lot of what they have to say in missions is just either A, common sense, or B, just dumb knowledge on the scenario. It's not really something you have to listen to. It's very rare.
That's the target.
Трогать нельзя.
Right now I'm trying to do is mark all the people, so that way I've kind of got more of a free range to do how I please without really having to worry about getting caught. If I had C4, I could take that. Actually, you know what? No, I believe if I can clear out the base, I can shoot that down, or I can use one of the emplacements that's over there and get rid of it, and that'll allow, when you take these out, that allows your helicopter to come down directly onto the compound, either for a hot drop-off or a quicker kind of extraction. Just makes shit easier. It's also more fun later in the game when you're replaying a mission and you don't really care about stealth because you've already completed it as such. One quick nifty thing you can do, by the way, is you can shoot out these lights, and they'll radio it in as weird shit going on, but they really won't do much about it. You know, everybody's gonna go on alert, but nobody's gonna be on, like, combat alert, if that makes sense. They'll all be like, oh shit, there's somebody here, but they won't be like, oh shit, there's actually somebody here. There is a difference. You'll learn that if you play this game more frequently than not. Just hit it twice, that should be good enough. These guys first. These are just sitting out in the open. They're more likely to get stumbled upon.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Что происходит?
Yeah, we're waking up the other guy. That's the only bad thing about starting in this game is you have to get supply drops a fuckload of times because you have very low ammo and not a lot of Fultons. And if you plan on going through and not killing things, then it gets kind of tedious. Especially when your suppressor likes to die all the time.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
That is one quick benefit of buddy you get later on is she'll leave supplies wherever she's posted at, and a lot of times you can get to her location so you can resupply on things like long rifle ammo and suppressors and such. So I'll basically, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to take out these two guys and then I'll call in an airdrop for supplies.
So your suppressor is worn out. That gun will be as loud as any other now. If you have to shoot, be careful.
Okay, so me walking into the wall for the last 30 seconds wasn't my fucking fault. I've got this issue with my controller where it just randomly likes to fucking die, and doesn't indicate or anything like that, and then my controller continues to keep the last movement up. So...
He speaks Russian. What we need is an interpreter. The main principle of intelligence work is intel gathering. But that's a problem if you don't speak the enemy's language. We need a staff member with the interpreter skill to do a simultaneous interpretation. He's coming too. Roger that.
And from here I should be able to sprint. The game is a hell of a lot darker. I've got the brightness way up. In fact, it almost looks like it's not dark at all on my side. I don't know what it's going to look like for you guys. But when the darkness is where it needs to be, nighttime is legitimately nighttime in this game, to a point to where you almost can't see what's going on without either a night vision headset or ambient lighting.
You gotta extract him.
These guys will stay out for quite a while. Yeah, I can't get that guy because of the glass. You can actually get rounds for this that are everywhere that penetrate through glass.
To shut off all the lights and surveillance cameras in the outpost. But of course, the enemy will realize something's up. If you're gonna do it, be quick. Say it would be a waste to kill him. But putting him to sleep doesn't count as eliminating him. Neither does knocking him out.
Cool thing about the music tapes is you can actually, once you develop the speaker for your helicopter, you can actually take the music tapes and... my controller would fucking work with me, and use them to, when you're flying into and out of a combat zone, it'll play whatever track you selected. I was looking around for him. Fucking controller, man.
Target secured. I'll tell the client we sent the...
See, this is a fucking problem that I hate about these controllers. If you don't have like a decent gaming controller, you just have a stock the stock like PS4, DS4 style controller, they're just shit. Typically you get a lot of fucking stick drift and all this other shit. It just makes them cancerous to use. like I said previously, now that I've captured the outpost, I don't really have to worry about anybody spotting me. I'm gonna go ahead and take out that anti-air turret there, and basically while I'm waiting on the people to get here, or on my helicopter to get here, I'll extract these other guys.
Anti-air radar? It wasn't one of the targets, but that's put a hole in their air surveillance. The chopper will be able to get in close now. You can designate a landing zone near the outpost.
And as far as my controller, if I can get it to do it, that whole walking back, like, kind of is, I'm not facing forward. This shit, I'm not actually holding my controller. Ah, it's fucking annoying.
You gonna extract him?
I suppose while we're waiting, we can roll around and try to find some goodies.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. Those are raw diamonds. Collecting them as assets will raise our GMP.
Come around here.
Gaining altitude.
This game is quite nice. I actually very thoroughly enjoy playing this game. Even as a, almost a relaxation game, this game can be used.
Alright, mission complete, boss. Maybe you'll actually break a sweat next time, huh?
And also, I explained it last stream, but the reason I have so much GMP balance is I played this mainly on PS3, but I picked it up on PS4 expecting it could transfer my save over, and I didn't. So I had really been playing the fuck out of the game whenever I got this out. When I played it on this, and since I had to restart, I was basically bored. So I got around, I think, 20 missions in and had a decent amount of just about everything, and started a few, I forget what they're called, combat deployments, I think, that you can do in your interaction menu for your troops, and stopped playing the game. I recently picked up the definitive collection because I had never played Ground Zeroes, and that's ultimately what got me back into this, because I had a lot of fun in Ground Zeroes. And then I got all the DLC on top of the regular game as well, so including most of the online stuff that I know of. So when I got back onto the actual game that wasn't Ground Zeroes, I wound up completing all of those missions, and because of that it also didn't delete any of the vehicles I had. Kind of a weird glitch, but I started off with the GMP balance of whatever those missions got me, which was, I think, 2.1 million or so, and I've still got all of my vehicles, so if I need money, because I don't necessarily use vehicles, I more or less just pick them up to sell them later. I usually go down to about 2 or 3 on each of them, just in case a combat deployment requires them, and sell off the rest. So if I wind up needing money later on, I usually just sell them. But as I said, I'd shut my mouth during cutscenes and important calls, and there should be one coming up.
How you feeling, boss? getting used to being in the field again. Having choppers and a horse at your disposal is indispensable for operating in the wilds of Afghanistan. I've gone ahead and arranged for you to be able to develop and customize weaponry for support choppers. And you can also develop new equipment for D-Horse if you like. Use your iDroid to start development as needed.
Okay, so no, not yet.
Remember the guys you brought back from the base in Cuba 9 years ago? Believe it or not, some of them survived that hell we went through. Word reached them that Big Boss is back and they wanted in. They're good men, our brothers in fate. They'll be glad to know you've seen them here.
Okay, and that's really cool too. See, that was another thing I missed about Ground Zeroes on PS3 is I couldn't find a copy to pick up, and the one time I did, the game was basically broken, and I picked it up on disc from GameStop, which is always a terrible idea because they rip you off. You can't sell them a used game. That's fucked up, but they'll sell you one back in a heartbeat. So I never really got to play Ground Zeroes, and this is one of the things I missed out on, where the Ground Zero soldiers, such as Hideo, which I got Hideo later on because you could get him through a mission similar to Kazuhira Miller's first mission that you pick him up in. But nevertheless, I missed out on people like Amber Fox, Gold Fox, Hideo, not this guy, probably not this next guy either, and we're gonna go ahead and skip. But I missed out on them because I couldn't get those fill-in soldiers from doing those missions, and I was going to pick the game up on the store, and it just never really got around to it because I had done so much with it afterward. But it's cool now that I get to restart and I get to see kind of the things that I missed out on because I wasn't able to get the definitive edition on PS3, and I wasn't also able to play Ground Zeroes.
By connecting your iDroid to the onboard computer, you turn the chopper into your own Aerial Command Center, or ACC. Some elements of staff assignment and R&D of weapons and items can only be performed from there. Take as long as you need to consider all your options.
Okay, and I don't need to look at that. By the way, if you came to the stream expecting more of a, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, let me learn this, let me see that, oh, that's how that works kind of experience, you're not going to get that here, because I played this game for roughly a year on PS3, and I know it's PS3, and there's a lot of shit that I didn't get to see, and a lot of shit that got updated, but I knew about most of it, like, for instance, the Molotov 68, that anti-material rifle, I think it's like a 50 cal. It's either a 13mm or 12.7. I believe it's 12.7, so it's a 50. They released that, and I wound up getting it, but I never got to research it because the requirements were so fucking ridiculously high. And I believe on this version of the PS4 game, the requirements aren't too bad, or they're more realistic. So, like I said, another bonus of getting back into it again. I've kind of realized now that there's a lot of shit that I probably could have had by now and had a lot more fun with the game. But more on my channel. Once I get more into the game, there's definitely going to be a little bit of multiplayer, like the online co-op or co-op and PvP shit. And there's most definitely going to be FOB raids. It was probably my favorite part, was raiding in FOBs. But for right now, we're just going to stick to doing missions because this game's storyline is unbelievable. Per usual with most Metal Gear games. I know a lot of people don't really like the open world aspect, but I fucking love it. Develop all of this really, just because I have the money to at the current moment, as well as the resources. I think some of my resources from my older save on this maybe a year ago rolled over as well, but I'm not too positive. It'd be nifty if they did, even though it's kind of cheatsy, but at the same time, resources are kind of, they're not like stupid hard to get to, but it's just a good, it's always good to have more. And I'm most definitely going to develop a speaker on that, because I am a normal fag. I roll in with Flight of the Valkyrie, or I believe, I want to say maybe it's Flight of the Bumblebee in the US, but I could be wrong. I live in the US, so, I mean, if I'm wrong, then oh well. I don't know how many daily coins it just said I had, but I may... I'd kind of like to see how many I have. I don't know why I just checked through all those. I know I don't have anything. I'm trying to remember where you can see your coins at, because I don't fucking remember. Okay, and one thing I do want to check, I want to scroll down and see if I have. I do. I just need a higher R&D. Okay, see, that's the one thing I was worrying about. I was looking at a video the other day, and I noticed somebody had this outfit here, the Solid Snake one, and was very concerned because I didn't remember seeing it in my development tree, I guess is what you can call it. So I was quite concerned that I had missed out on something. And I'm not going to worry too much about any of this right now. What I usually do is I go in and develop all of my firearms as much as I can, and once they are fully developed, I work on things like the shields and throwables and placeables and the boxes and stuff like that. The only thing I usually work on midway is my Fulton device, and that's really it, other than my intelligence scope, because you can scan people at higher ranks, and it gives you more insight as to who and who you don't want to pick up whenever you're running low on maybe tranks and you're trying to get a select amount of people, or so on and so forth, or you just want to be in and out. So, as far as I understand, I think that's all I can do right now until I can start developing another FOB segment. And I do want to go in and make sure people like this, like you see, you can get rid of him. I really don't want to get rid of him. I know you can't do it with Hideo, but even though he's a mostly C and then a B rank on all of his things, I just kind of want to keep him. You know, it's just kind of like, hey, these guys are cool, they do whatever. And he's locked in for some reason. He speaks English. I don't know why. That's honestly strange. I don't know why we're just gonna get rid of him, because he doesn't have any real, because these guys are all C's and B's, so it's not like he came with them. But yeah, we'll just get rid of him. If I fucked up, I fucked up. I'm not too worried about it, because he looks about as basic as all the other ones, especially with his name. But anyway, we'll go ahead and get into something real quick. This should also be where I find, I believe D-Dog. The only reason I researched these is just so I could have a quick look at them, because I've never seen them before. He's got the blinders on. It's actually kind of neat. Fucking bull horns. It actually doesn't look too bad aside from the stupid little bull horns that it has. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and throw him in a combat dress. Yeah, extra thick. Anyway, we're gonna go. And again, I never really drop in at daytime. The only times that I honestly play during daytime is when I've dropped in at nighttime, or I've accidentally hit, like, go now, pretty much is what it should be called. Or the mission requires it. Because it's easier to stealth in this game at nighttime, which is very obvious reasons, but, as I said, I don't really care too much about killing people rather than actually just taking them to my base, because not only does that prevent me from getting Demon Snake, it also helps to fill out my base with better people, which is always good. It's always Gucci sauce.
First, use the binoculars to locate the communications equipment at the facility.
Take it home, obviously.
Roger that. We'll pick him up. Yeah. Yeah. We found out there's an English-speaking soldier somewhere in the region. He's a language specialist. His role is to translate information related to the West into Russian. If we can get him to join us, we'll have the upper hand in information warfare. Find this language specialist and extract him.
See, this is another good thing I've always liked about not necessarily Metal Gear games in general. It's more prevalent there. Prevalent, not prevalent, whatever. You guys know what the fuck I mean. They lay shit out in front of you in a way that's not necessarily game breaking, where it's like, we're gonna give this to you so you can absolutely stomp shit. They give things to you in a sense that it's like, we realize you need, for instance, the Russian interpreter, so here's your opportunity to go get him, and if you don't get him, you can get him later. Should be a third guy. So, but anyway, it's good to not like necessarily have everything laid out for you.
language specialist you extracted has been very cooperative. Says he's always dreamed of living a free life, like folks in the West. What are the odds, huh? I've gone ahead and placed him in the support unit. His job is Russian interpretation. Now you'll know what Soviet soldiers are saying. You can even interrogate them. Should give you an edge in the mission.
See, and that was conveniently placed in the path to my current objective, being in the very, very beginning of the game. In fact, I believe more or less the second mission you can choose if you choose to go down the correct number of doing things. As kind of like, we see you're having trouble doing this, so take one of these, but only if you want to. Just a nice touch. Fuck. I might need to get out of here. Oh god, I barely got that. I'm genuinely surprised I got this first guy. I knew they were around here somewhere, but I figured I passed them. I got off my horse as soon as I saw the spotlight up there, and it was just a fucking total coincidence that I did.
To locate the communications equipment at the facility. Huh. You don't have any explosives on you, do you? You'll either have to steal some from the enemy, or call in a supply drop from your iDroid.
A headshot. I'm just gonna put 3 in them. And we're gonna go ahead and resupply because I just realized that I kinda need a new suppressor.
Roger that.
goddamn Batman now. I was gonna let him radio in first, but either way, they're alerted. As far as I know, I think this is the only guy. We will know shortly. Would you fucking hit him? Shit. Yeah, like I said. Last guy. I wanted to fucking beat his ass because occasionally you can throw in the fucking bionic fist with one of those hits and it's fucking great.
You gotta extract him. He's coming too. Roger that.
What's run Russian soldier though?
He's coming too. Roger that.
And these little stickers you can get, they're actually kind of neat. You can put them like on the sides and on the front of your box if that's what you're running, and use them to distract soldiers. If I can fucking speak. And essentially what it does is it will allow you to get right up on top of them while they're fucking lottie-dawing over the sticker or poster, whatever you want to call it. You can just fucking snatch them up and interrogate them or knock them out. Just real quick, I'm running through making sure I've got all a good majority of all the supplies and such. Like I said, you can never have too many resources. And the diamonds are worth a metric fuckload each time you get them. A little quick tip on this one. When you do the hard version of this, if you haven't gotten to it already, you can get on this gun here, shoot that one,
Good. That's the first one.
shoot that one, shoot
Good
that
work.
one, and I believe,
You've completed your objective.
yeah, you can
Now
even
get out
hit
of
the
hot zone.
the radar detector there, and call in a helicopter
Roger.
here. if I can show you what I mean, which there's not any here. What I was gonna say to further clarify what I meant about the Russian interpreter that I picked up on the way over here is, a lot of times at these landing zones, you'll have medical plants that you can get, Homa, any of the black carrot, so on and so forth, that just are in the landing zone. So while you're waiting on your helicopter, like I am now, you go around and pick it up, and it's kind of like, actually, you're not waiting, you're more or less getting supplies and then waiting. But because there's none here, I'm just actually waiting. And sorry if you hear coughing in the background, that's my dog. He needs to die quietly. Jed, hush. He's not actually dying, for those of you too sensitive to actually be on YouTube.
Mission complete, boss. Maybe you'll actually break a sweat next time, huh? Is growing like crazy thanks to you, boss. In fact, it's getting downright crowded around here. To bring a greater number of people on board, we'll need to expand our facilities. To that end, I've created a base development unit. It has two roles, material refinement and platform construction. I'll start with the material refinement part. The base development unit procures material resources on a regular basis according to its level. The materials are stored in containers and placed on the deck of Mother Base. Once they're finished being processed, they can finally be put to use. By using these materials to build new platforms, we'll be able to add a greater number of staff to our ranks. We don't need any specific instructions from you to refine the materials, but I want you to be the one to decide how we construct platforms. Once we have sufficient GMP and the required material resources, you can issue construction orders from your iDroid. Time in the field is bad for the body and mind. I think it's time you took a break. Do it for me. Come back to Mother Base ASAP.
I believe this is the first cutscene with what will be D-Dog. And a minor interruption because I'll probably get a screenshot just in the middle of the scene here somewhere.
Come back!
Pepps.
Here's the dog you brought back. Bit of a troublemaker. Not sure about the breed, though.
He'll get bigger?
Uh-huh. Like this. You know, I can look after him. He's still a pup, so he doesn't listen. I have a feeling someday he'll be useful. I suspect you've discovered a real diamond in the rough. With a little polish, I'd say we got a true diamond dog on our hands.
There's supposed to be a Diamond Dogs patch there. But I'm wearing a different outfit. Screenshot. And lucky for you guys, it does pause the video. Well, the cutscene, more or less. There we go. Sorry about that.
Hostile and raising hounds. Fine. Come on, Dee Dee.
Channel request from Langley. We're to find a piece of new American military hardware that's gone missing in the mountains of Afghanistan. It's a difficult mission, but I'd say you're back in top form by now. Check your iDroid for the details.
This is P1, on station at LZ.
I like how he shields his face for the rotor wash, but then he takes like 3 steps, isn't even out of it, and then he's like, yeah, this is fine. One thing I forgot to do, you can walk around your base and kind of more or less bump into your soldiers if you stand kind of next to them or acknowledge that they're really... You increase your staff morale, and that actually is something that's worth doing. It provides a lot of great things, like in FOB missions they tend to have a more willing to fight attitude. Some of them will get, actually I believe most of them, if not all of them, kinda are buffed a little bit when the morale is increased a decent amount of times. So you don't really leave them. Just every couple of missions, if you come back and bump around with them and make sure their morale is increased, then you'll be good. You don't really have to do it for all of them, just 3 or 4 or 5 of them, whoever you really see first, honestly. And yeah, my supplies did roll over, which is great because I can go ahead and complete all of these. And I'm not able to fucking speed them up. I'd really like to see... I don't remember where you see your things at, other than if I go to Metal Gear Online, maybe. I don't remember if this puts me into a tutorial for the game or not. I'm hoping it doesn't, because this is something I'd like to have in a different video. Suppose we'll find out really soon then. actually quite enjoyed the Scout. You can have all three. Just a heads up here. I don't want to do matchmaking. God, it's gonna take me through all of this shit. What are you doing? Thank you. Jesus, fuck. Let's see. I believe I can go here. Nice. Okay, so yeah, I have 2,671. Okay, cool. So that's all I needed to see. I'm not gonna worry about any of this right now, aside from maybe. It goes on top of your head. That's kind of fucking. I mean, I guess. It's literally like they just cut a hole into it and you're wearing it. Like you can see the blood and everything there. That means they killed the horse for it. The fucking headsets and this shit. Okay, I'm not gonna focus on it too much longer. I just wanted to see my points. Sorry about the inconvenience there. Fuck. I don't remember how to get out of free play. This is actually, this is kind of disappointing. That I have to Google this shit. Bear with me for 5 minutes here. Okay, there we go. Cool. I was worried I'd have to leave the game. That's what I used to do on PS3, but I realized now that you could hold select and do it. Although it took me Googling it, I totally forgot that was something you could do. So I was hitting the left side there, expecting the pause menu to come up, but nothing was happening. And then it said that I could hold it to get the original menu up, which is good. Because I had no plans on closing it. In which case, if I had to close the game down, I was just gonna have to wind up dealing with this being a MGO stream and not a fucking Phantom Pain stream. So, but I suppose it's a good thing we found it. However, if you will excuse me while the game loads up, I am going to go grab a drink of water. So I will be right back. Okay, and we are back. Eat. I'm wondering if it's going to take me through anything, because I believe I left off on a decent note. I don't know if it's going to force me to go in and look at anything again. It will. This is a good thing, though. These are things that are not quite bad, like all of this. I did achieve these ranks. Way long ago, though. Same for these as well. Okay, these are legit right here. We're just gonna go ahead and accept all of this. And I'm at the maximum GMP right now, which means I'm gonna go develop a bunch of shit, and then I'll accept that. By the way, one good pistol to start out with until you really get the WUS pistol upgraded. So if you follow this line, I believe it goes out to here and then down one. Or this might move down one, I don't remember. But you get a tranquilizer version of this, and it's essentially, when you get it, you do the same damage as the first or second upgrade to this. So either this version or this version. But with better range. And you also get the ability to fire more than one shot without having to rack the slide back. It's semi-automatic fire rather than the best way I can explain it is bolt action fire. However, this does become your best tranquilizer pistol. It gets, I believe, the same damage as this rifle with tranq darts. At some point, it gets very, very close, is what I remember. I'm trying to think about what I want to develop first. Actually, I'd like to... I'd like to get a hold of that. But as it currently stands, I don't have a suppressor for it. Oh well. I'm just gonna develop what I can. In fact, we'll go here and do it. so far these are just costing GMP, that's why I'm just kind of breezing through them. Especially knowing that I've got that extra 2 million just in case. And I didn't mean to equip that, but I have it just in case, and I didn't mean to do that, but it's fine. I will be getting the C4 though. The C4 I believe is the only placeable I ever take with me. Everything else, we'll go ahead and get this. Go ahead and get this. Go ahead and rub that. I don't need anything else. I do actually kind of want to look at this though. It's going to take a hell of a long time though. That's for female staff. But either way, I do have one of those, so I will be taking a peek at it. No, I'm not going to go through all that. I'm more or less interested in getting this 2 million. And then doing another mission. I'm trying to remember. Sorry about that. I equipped so much shit I didn't need. Okay, we are good to go. So,
Boss, the Soviet engineer is being
I believe I'll do
barracks. You need to find him and get him out. He tried to defect from the base camp up north, but it didn't work
this
out.
mission, probably, maybe another one. And then I will probably go ahead and cut the stream. And I may be streaming War Thunder later. And anybody who does return to my channel knows that I suck ass at that game, but I have found what I think is the only honest pay-to-win vehicle in the game, and that's the IS-6. So, if anybody plays War Thunder or genuinely knows anything about it, you'll know that that tank is practically unkillable in most circumstances. So, should be rather fun. And by fun I mean you get to watch me fuck around, have no clue what I'm doing, and then somehow kill shit.
Truth is, an environmental NGO has asked us to remove wild animals from combat zones. If you have the time, can you extract some back here? There's a reward in it for us.
It's a bear. It's actually a bear. Fuck.
your suppressor is worn out. That gun will be as loud as any other now. If you have to shoot, be careful.
Yes, yes, I understand. Thank you. I'm gonna drop it right about here. Well. Oh, of course that one fucking missed. Doesn't help that my goddamn horse kept fucking going too. Oh, fuck. See, this is why I don't like the horse. I never fucking use the horse on anything. Anything you're caught, you can't stop it. Wanted to wait for him to stand up. Horse is good for going in straight lines, never for stopping, never for maneuvering.
He's coming too. Roger that. That's the Waxin barracks. The target
See, and this whole place is on fucking security alert, which means the troops are just gonna be wherever the fuck they want now.
Extract him. Giving up their search for you, but they're not giving the all-clear just yet. Stay alert.
That's always a good tip to give, by the way. If you're worried about a person in a vehicle getting away, if it's anything light like this or doesn't have a weapon, a good thing you can do is just shoot it once in the tire, in the rear, anywhere that they'll notice, and they'll usually stop and get out to investigate or attack. What the fuck? I've never actually had them hop on the spotlight like that whenever they see me.
He's coming too. Roger that. Extract him.
There's supposed to be another guy up here, but I don't see him. Quick cool thing. If you get these little papers on these little orange platforms here, if you use the cardboard boxes and you sit there, you can so long as you're like not detected, you can transfer between the delivery points in the map. It's almost like a fast travel when you're out doing things. There's a little file here. I'll be honest, I had no idea that file was there as many times as we've come to this location.
Nice find. Analyzing the intel file you picked up. We've got a fix on the target. I've updated your map info. Check it on your iDroid. Coming too. Roger that.
I see force on this side.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Shh. Yeah, thank God for reflex. Me not paying attention almost fucked up everything.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Sorry if I'm very quiet through a good portion of this.
That material. It could be just what we need to develop new weapons and equipment.
Okay, now my suppressor is going to break. So I need to get his attention and then hit him in the head. I should have just enough rounds to take care of him and I believe that's a sniper. Shit.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. Boss, you've entered a building. Always keep an escape route in mind when you head indoors. If you get surrounded, you'll have nowhere to run.
Yeah, if he scrapes his leg on the way out, who cares? Let's go and do this.
You gotta extract him. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
I don't know where this other fucking guy is. So be it. Go ahead and collect supplies if I happen to find them. I happen to find them. I know where he's at, by the way. I might honestly break the suppressor off of my other rifle. Take it off, do something, and try to lure this guy into my location. That works. See, I'm not totally perfect.
You gotta extract him.
Just doing a quick sweep real quick of the things here, and it's no good.
So when sandstorms come in, sandstorms effectively make you blind and deaf, but that goes for the enemy too. Use the situation to your advantage.
I think there's a cutscene with this. Yeah, there's not, it's just being complicated. Or maybe, I don't know, it might be the 50 cals. I think with shotguns and 50 caliber rifles, you're able to go right through the lock with them.
Вот this. Я не буду делать. Это мой шедевр. Мощные протезы. Это скучно.
Oh, he's going right through the metal grating. Cheese. Let's see if we can find an anti-air replacement real quick.
Now that's some lateral thinking. Flawless work. You never cease to amaze, boss. Target extraction confirmed. Exfiltrate out of the hot zone by chopper or on land.
Nope. We're taking it out the old-fashioned way.
Their anti-air radar? It wasn't one of the targets, but that's put a hole in their air surveillance. The chopper will be able to get in close now. You can designate a landing zone near the outpost.
Oh. There's a fucking emplacement right here. Oh well. All's well that ends well. I heard a dude yell, I don't know where he went though. There's diamonds there. I'm gonna go for that. Just because. Kind of mean belly flop real quick. Yeah, see, 10 grand. Not bad. Shit, I'd be happy with 10 grand right now. Everybody wants a million.
Arriving shortly at LZ.
I want my 10 grand. Oh, look, another 10 grand.
This is P.2. Have arrived at LZ. Will stand by.
Now, as far as my little rant on buddies went, usually I take D-Dog. Some missions I take quiet because it's more effective, but I want to say 95% of the time I take, no, let's say 85. And for D-Dog, and probably 10 for, 10 for quiet. The other 5 would go towards, D-Horse. As far as actually going into missions and doing shit, I'll take them out all equally across shit to get them leveled up so I can affect how they look and so on and so forth.
Departing.
But other than that, I don't necessarily have use for the D-Walker that I'll get later or D-Horse. They're just kind of there.
Yes, mission complete. Boss, that was exceptional. The engineer we rescued has been extremely cooperative. The guys on the R&D team are glad to have him aboard. Thing is, his specialty isn't mechanics, but something called bionics, engineering based on biology. He's already submitted a proposal for modifying your prosthetic arm. If you're interested, go ahead and give the development order.
Tidbit of an Easter egg, by the way. The little blueprints that they showed in that little scene there, I believe they are the same blueprints that you use, that they used in the actual making of the game. I'm probably wrong, but I remember seeing something similar to that in a few of their teasers, but...
We've added an analyzer function to your binoculars. Now you can view soldiers or POWs and get a readout on their rank or any special skills they might have. Depending on their skills, they may even be able to develop new types of weapons or items. Try it out the next time you're thinking of folding someone.
See, what he doesn't know is I've been trying it out. Nice. I will go ahead and blow some money. Okay, now that Grom 11, that will come in handy. So I am going to actually equip that. C4 does come in quite handy, especially upgraded C4. Go ahead and grab that. I don't really need to wear a gold version. And... neat. I will go to the helicopter though, because I want to see if I get any armament for it. And it is very vital if you pick up this game to get, at the very minimum, get your explosive weaponry and your helicopter as high as you possibly can, and you'll fully understand and will probably thank somebody, it may not be me, but somebody later for it.